David, thank you very much for joining me. Now, obviously, listeners to the podcast will have heard the story before, but for those who perhaps haven't, how did this whole Exeter City thing come about?
So I moved down here to Devon with my family last March, and I thought I really wanted to watch, because I've always supported Man United. I've never been able to go and see them, or couldn't be asked to go and see them. But I've always wanted to watch football live and follow a team. And then last October, I thought, sod it. I wanted to have that ritual of going to watch football on a Saturday afternoon. And actually, I wanted to go and watch football. For some reason, I really wanted to go and watch football on Boxing Day with my Christmas jumper and have that tradition. So I thought I'd go and watch. I asked some people who I should go and watch. So I'm right in the centre of Exeter, Torquay and Plymouth. And Exeter came out on top. So I went to watch them first against Newport County and absolutely loved it. And there we go. I followed them. And then I got a season ticket sort of a month or so later. And I haven't missed many home games, I don't think.
I think you had 4 season tickets at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I actually bought 3 season tickets. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. So I've got about 20 seats around the ground that are in spare. Yeah.
That explains the empty ones when it's been a sellout then. So
yeah,
this first match, Newport, after that first game, the full-time whistle's gone, you're heading back to your car. What were you thinking? Did you know you'd made the right choice?
Oh, I loved it. I'm really not used to watching football with thousands of people. And there are thousands of people there, aren't there, Exeter? There were probably like 3 or 4 when I went. But as soon as I walked through the tunnel, saw the pitch, I was like, hello, I love this. Just all these people together, watching decent standard of football 20 yards away. And maybe I came back. I don't know when the next game was after that, but I came back on my own, and that was a massive step for me to walk into the ground on my own, because I went with my eldest boy the first time, and then when I went on my own, it's like, am I doing the right thing here, coming on my own? But then the more you watch, the more you get to know the players, and then it's like a little soap opera. You kind of know what they're good at and what some aren't so good at, and yeah.
And was the podcast always going to be a thing? Was it a thing before you picked Exeter City and you were just looking for it to be, or did it come after?
No, it came after. So I think I watched maybe, I guess, probably 2 or 3 games, because Joe Wilkinson and I worked together most days. He would ask how Saturday went, and I'd tell him my experience, and he would just laugh because he could see how much I was squirming, sort of going on my own. And although I've always played football and watched football, I've never actually been to watch it. So he was finding it funny, me experiencing football for the first time, rather like a 7-year-old. But I was 47. So yeah. And where to park, what to eat, where to sit. Yeah.
Where to park? That is the big question that many of us at Exeter City is, where do we park? And the answer is,
where do people park? Oh, really? Is that what it is?
The staff don't even get parking on a match day sometimes. So there we go. Just dump your car and it might get hooked up somewhere. You never know.
Yeah.
You must have thought your luck was in, because we went on that incredible 20-match unbeaten run just as you started to watch us. So you must have thought you were the lucky charm.
Well, I'm pretty sure when I first came to watch, they were kind of, I think Exeter were like 8 games unbeaten, but they only had like 8 points from there. They were drawing a lot. And then I think when I started watching, they started winning, and they went on like a 16, 17 game unbeaten. I was genuinely, like, foolishly thinking, well, how's anyone going to beat us? It didn't make any sense. I can't remember the first game. Did they lose to Cambridge?
Colchester was the game. And it was 20 matches it was.
Yeah, and I remember heading to Colchester. I'm like, well, of course we're going to whip their asses. Who the hell are Colchester? And they won. I was like, oh, right. And then I remember I watched the game. Was it the
And that
game?
is a lesson in League Two, my friend.
Was
Never.
that on iFollow? It was on iFollow Colchester.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest load of trash. And I remember watching that game going, oh, for God's sake, is this what it's like? And I was brought back down to earth. But then the last 2 or 3 months, too good for this league. Way too good for this league. Yeah.
For those who have listened to the podcast regularly, they'll have, heard the funny stories from a match day, and there's been some memorable moments you've picked out on the show. But let's talk about that game you missed when it was a 1 o'clock kickoff and you forgot or didn't know or whatever it was. I think it was Colchester at home on Good Friday. You were thinking, why is it not on? And we were like, it's 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I don't know what happened then. It was Good Friday. So for some reason, because it was midweek or end of the week, I just thought it would be a Friday evening. And I was doing some work out here. I told my neighbour, I'm going to watch them tonight. Oh, yeah. It was all built up for it. I told my wife. And then I just checked Twitter, and I think we were 1-0 down or what. I was like, what? And I got in touch with my wife. Well, I'll get back. Don't worry, I'll get back with the car, and then you can shoot over. I was like, no, don't worry about it. So then I tried to listen to it on Radio Devon, and they lost whatever connection they had with the match. So I think I was watching through. I don't know how I missed the game, but I've learned now to check when. See, this is all a learning curve. When to check when the times are, and yeah.
Now, when you started this podcast, did you ever imagine you'd be, getting the chance to know Matt Taylor, Matt Jay, Pierce Sweeney, all the players? I can imagine that was not even something you've even considered.
No. No, like when I went with my eldest, that first game, I genuinely was like, Jesus, look at them, these professional footballers. Just so impressed and in awe of them. And then when they're coming on the podcast, like Joe and I are genuinely nervous because they're doing the thing that we always wanted to do. And so you're just in awe and hoping you're not going to be judged. It's amazing. And it's really interesting getting an insight into how they feel about their job. And yeah, because they're kind of doing the thing that a lot of men and women dreamed of doing. And but even they sound pretty tired with it. Yeah.
And I think in the episode of Matt Taylor, I think he offered that you could take training one day. Are we going to see that happen anytime soon?
Nah. No, because they'd get too much abuse. I just know what it'll be like. It'll be horrendous.
Something we often wonder is, this podcast would be very, very different if we hadn't got promoted.
Yeah, but I've always thought, well, they are going to get promoted. I genuinely think they're going to get into the playoffs in League One as well. Is that wrong of me to think that?
You have to admire the optimism. I'm sure there'll be many, many Exeter City fans that would take that, but there's also many just thinking, let's just stay up. So
in League Two, I didn't see any teams there weren't many teams I thought, oh, they're Mansfield, I remember, thought were good. I never saw Forest Green. So in League One, I wonder how much the team they'll keep together for League One.
Let's see. Sum up. What has been some of your standout moments from this season? Because there must be some moments where you thought, wow, this is incredible. I've certainly picked the right team.
Well, I mean, when they got promoted, that was unbelievable. And I kind of stood there. I mean, I didn't run onto the pitch. I was sort of watching everyone. I thought, I might not experience this again, this little feeling. So that was amazing. And talking to a guy who stood next to me, had been coming for like 20 years. And the last time they got promoted was it 2009? Was that right? I think I know more about Exeter than you do.
9, 10, and there was a double promotion.
Was it?
Yeah.
So he's waited 12.
Up to League One, yeah.
Yeah, he's waited 12, 13 years. I thought, I might not experience this again. So that was amazing. I mean, it's when you asked that question, the first thing that sprung to mind was when Matt Jay's hairband fell out. I really enjoyed that moment because I was just watching him for 10 minutes trying to work it out what to do. So that was a highlight. But yeah, promotion was amazing. It's amazing.
And were you at the game when the sprinkler decided to make an appearance and Chaz, the groundsman, had to run on and fix it? Were you at that game?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
And that was at home to Salford. Suddenly the referee just stops the play and the water just comes up off the pitch.
Oh, really? Was that must have been early on, I think.
It was against Salford. It's been that long now, hasn't it? We've had so many games, but I think it was March, maybe, I think.
Oh, I was away for March. Yeah, February, March. Yeah.
Let's talk about Joe, obviously your co-host.
Yeah.
Gillingham relegated, which has pulled the plug on what would have been the greatest crossover ever with Exeter City versus Gillingham. But are you going to get him to a game down here at some point, regardless?
Unlikely.
There we go.
I just can't see how he'll get off his arse and travel down unless he combines it with some little breakaway with his wife. He's just not going to do it. He'll give it all the spiel that he might. He'll never do it.
Gillingham in the cup or something. That'd be good.
Yeah,
Question I was asked to ask you: when's the album coming out? Obviously, we've heard this Alex Hartridge song and your other Exeter City anthem.
Yeah,
it was one of the biggest games in Exeter City's history. 1-1 at half time against Barrow, and there's your song playing at half time. What are you thinking about that?
We'll turn it up for one. It was quite low down in the. I thought, well, if you're going to play it, turn it up. But I noticed no one gave a crap about it. But I heard I was sat there having a pasty or whatever, and I heard this drum beat coming. I was like, yeah, that was a weird moment. That was really weird. But I tell you, my worry is that I'm going to start to get abuse from the Exeter fans at the ground.
Has that not started yet?
Yeah, no. That's why I've got a season ticket over in the new stand. I'm trying to hide in the court. Well, now, yeah.
You're not hiding anymore?
No.
And then Alex Hartridge changes his Twitter bio to a man's man, and it just seems to continue with this sort of jokey song that you wrote. And here it is the man himself loves it.
No, well, does he love it?
He loves it enough to put it in his Twitter bio.
No, I know. It's such a... honestly, when I turned up to watch the Newport County game, there's no plans to do a podcast. Didn't even know if I was going to watch any more games. Just really enjoyed it. And then I said to my eldest son, I was like, God, 6 months ago we watched that, and now just had a song played. Met Alex Hart. What? Yes, it's been such a weird year. Yeah.
And he sings it as well, Alex Hartridge. He does sing it. Well, yeah, we spoke to him after one of the matches at the end of the season, and there he was saying about his Alice band and his white boots. So
would he? Is he up for he wouldn't do a duet, would he? No.
Never say never.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? The club's success has obviously raised the club's profile in its own right, but a lot of people now follow Exeter City because of the podcast, which for us is we absolutely love it, and for you, what you've done for us, we, what we provide for you, you provide for us in that way. So it's pretty incredible how well it's been doing.
Oh, it's really nice. It's just we get lots of messages saying that Exeter are now the second favourite team. They're always on the lookout for the scores. It's brilliant, and I've had a few, like Rob Beckett, the comedian, got in touch with me and said, I've started following, I don't know, it's Bromley now, but he's started watching non-league, and yeah, it's really nice that people are doing that.
Get him down to a game if you want, get him all down.
Oh, he will do. In fact, he's coming down to Exeter next week or something. Yeah.
And if you want to tour the ground, just tell him to pop in.
Yeah.
Did you expect the club to be so receptive to the project? Did you expect us to get involved at all?
I was a little bit worried to begin with. I think we put out a couple of episodes and we might have tagged Exeter in. We didn't get any response, which is fair enough, but I was worried that the club might have thought we were taking the piss, and we obviously weren't taking the piss. So it's been so lovely how welcoming everyone's been and helpful, and there's a couple of times where I've got to the gate and I can't get my e-ticket, so I've texted, people, and they've let me in. John's been there like an old man. I can't get in. But no, everyone's been really lovely and coming on the pod and promoting it. Yeah, it's been great.
I think it's funny. When it first appeared on our social media, I think me and Scott, we were a bit baffled. We thought, what is this? And we didn't know who was behind it. And then as soon as we saw it was you and Joe, we just thought, well, this is going to be a hoot.
Oh, great. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we just really like the idea that I was brand new to watching a football team. And for anyone who was new to watching football, like, it would be our way of sort of guiding them, holding their hand as well into the sport and the club. And yeah, I'm glad the club like it.
Now, the big question is it getting a rebrand for next season? Because it's no longer your new football club, because Exeter City is just your football club now.
Yeah, I know, that's the flaw. That's the flaw. I didn't really think ahead there.
And I know you joked about it, but
I can't say, I mean, I don't know how many years it takes until you feel like I still feel like people are looking at me down their noses going, come on, mate, you're a Man United fan. And I'm not. Well, I am, but how long does it take to feel fully part of the fans? So I think this could go for 2 or 3 or 4 years. I think it's still a new club, isn't it, for 3 or 4 years?
Well, do you know what? There's no answer to that one. And I think, the Exeter City fan base certainly thinks, from your very first match, you're part of the family. So.
Oh, nice. I mean, I haven't been to any away games yet.
To you, I think, when you feel like it's.
Well, I mean, I'm coming to the games now on my own, like I own the place. I've got no fears now, so that's changed.
Do you own the place though? Have you signed up to Sports Trust?
No. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You do own
it. Yeah, I do. I do own the place partly. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you're a Grecian for life. Don't go abandoning us for another random league.
No, I won't. Although, what are the rules when it comes to Plymouth and Torquay? You literally cannot go and watch them. I mean, John Beer seems to think that's one of the rules. And is it really spicy between the two clubs?
Plymouth Argyle is the big Devon derby. There's a lot of hatred in that fixture.
Is there really? God.
Torquay,
did they go up, did they? They're in League One.
Say that again, sorry.
They're in League One as well, aren't they?
Yeah, so this will be the first time in a couple of years that we've played each other. So that's the big grudge match.
Yeah. Were you about when Exeter went up to League One last time? Were you on the scene?
No, that was before my time here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a long time, 10 years.
So is the club expecting more people to come and watch the games in the first part of next season, because we're in League One now?
We certainly hope so. We're on for our record amount of season ticket sales.
Really?
So yeah, there's a really good feeling about the club, and like I said, what you've done has certainly helped that as well, and growing the fan base, not just in terms of people that come to the games, but online as well. So
yeah, brilliant.
It's been a wild ride, hasn't it, David?
It's sort of been weirdly, I've sort of been predictable. I kind of knew they were going up, but everyone's kind of saying, no, they don't. They always lose. But no, they're not. They're going to go up. And I'm telling you now, we'll be in the Championship within a year. Yeah, in a year. I'll tell you this now. You come back and watch this Zoom in a year.
Well, we can repeat this in a year, and if you're right, I think
yeah,
just gives you the club. Club's yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to add about how has Exeter City changed your life? Is there anything you want to say before we end?
Well, no, I've just got that thing now where every Saturday I'm either looking out for the scores or I'm going to the game. I've got my season ticket for next year. And it's just a thing that I do, which is what I wanted. And the next thing to do is to get my young boys into it. So I took my middle boy last year, and he was bored within 7 minutes. So, so this season, I've bought him a seat, so I'm going to drag him along and make him watch. Yeah,
You'll love it soon enough.
And get into that heritage lounge again somehow and eat some duck.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. You had quite a good time in there.
I had a fantastic time. Felt really at home.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. no promises, son.
No promises at all. But
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. You know, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah, and the season kicks off July
the 30th, the weekend of the 30th.
Brilliant, smashing.
And the fixtures come out on the 23rd of June, so that's when you'll know who is when.
Brilliant, excellent. Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
That's all right. In the meantime, we look forward to the next episode, whenever that may be.
Transfer. I think we're going to do it around a transfer news, if there is any.
There will be at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as I can say.
Yeah. Yeah.